Hi, eighth grade. Today we're going to work on practicing our oil pastels. So we're going to be creating a practice like this, doing 9 different oil pastel techniques. So the first thing you need to do is fold your paper 3 times to get 8 boxes, and I've already done that. So fold it in half, half, and half, and then when you open up, you have 8 boxes. In the first box, I'm going to be doing a light pressure blend. So I'm going to choose 3 colors. I would like to use my pink, the peach, and the yellow. If your oil pastel is dirty, make sure to take some paper towel and take the end of the pastel, put it in the paper towel, and twist it a couple times. This is going to take the dirty color off the end of the pastel and get you a cleaner pastel stick. If twisting it once doesn't work, then you simply Sorry, there was an announcement. Then you simply wipe it as many times as you need to get your pastel sticks clean. All right, so light pressure. So in the first box, I'm going to put down a few layers of the peach, and I'm not pressing too hard. I'm just lightly coloring it. Then I'll take my second color, and I'm going to go in another direction. So now I'm going side to side. And I'll take my third color, make sure I have a clean spot. And I can build up light layers of these colors. Because I'm not pressing too hard, I can put a lot of layers on here to build up the color. And as I do this, it starts to blend together to create a new pinkish peach color that I did not have in my oil pastel kit. In the second box, I'm going to use the same 3 colors, and I'm going to use a heavy pressure. So I'm going to put my dark color down first, and I'm pressing really hard with the pastel stick. I don't see a lot of white paper showing through. Then I'm going to take my second color and I'm going over it horizontally. And then I'll take the peach and maybe I'll go over it at a diagonal. So I'm only putting 3 layers on here, but I'm pressing hard, and already I can see the paper doesn't want to hold on to much more pastel. It's coming off into pieces. The paper can only hold so much oil pastel. So if you do a heavy pressure blend, you won't be able to do as many layers as the light pressure blend. In the third box, we're going to be doing 2 different techniques, so stippling and scumbling. So I'm going to divide up that box in half. On this side, I'm going to do stippling. On that side, I'm going to do scumbling. Now, stippling is when you do little circles or marks next to each other to create a texture. And scumbling is when you do little scribbles, but they're purposeful. I'm not just making a scribbly mess on my paper. I know exactly where these are going to go. So using the stippling technique, I'm barely lifting the oil pastel off the paper, and I'm making little dots or little marks next to each other. You want to try to avoid tapping or banging the pastel. You get an uneven mark, and I have less control over where that's going. And then I would grab a second color, and I would fill those in. I'm going to try adding in a darker blue as well. Again, I know exactly where these dots are going to go. I'm not just banging them on the table. I've got a plan here. And the more that you fill these in, the greater the texture you'll see. Now, scumbling is like an intentional scribble. I might make a little C shape or a little S shape or a little squiggle. And I would fill these in around here. Your scumbling might change depending on what you're looking at. So if I was drawing leaves on a tree in a landscape or a rocky surface, the scumble might appear different. I'm going to add in a lighter color. This is a great way to give the illusion of physical texture. This one kind of looks like broccoli. Maybe I'll add some white to it. Remember, whenever you add light to a color, it lightens it. And every time I'm using these pastel sticks, I have to make sure to go back on my paper towel and wipe them off so that I don't spread the oil pastel where I don't intend it to go. For the next box, I'm going to do sgraffito. Sgraffito is one of my favorites. This is where we're going to be scratching into the paper. Sgraffito. So choose a couple light colors. I decided to do orange, yellow, and pink. So I'm going to put down some of the light orange. I'm going to go over it with some yellow, and then I'm going to blend in some pinks. And I'm doing kind of a medium pressure blend. I'm not pressing as hard as I can. Really fill this in however you'd like. Then I'm going to take my black pastel stick and I'm going to cover over the entire section that I made with a heavy pressure blend. So that's very heavy. Now using your scratch stick, you can go ahead in and scratch in any kind of designs or patterns that you would like. You can scratch out tiny designs by using the side of your stick, or you can use the flat edge and you can push out large sections like I did there. Make sure those go in the trash or wipe them on your napkin so they don't end up all over your artwork. And this is some examples of what that sgraffito looks like. So take a minute now and see what kinds of designs you can scratch into. Light color goes down first, dark color goes on top. Have fun with it. In this box here, we're going to do a gradation into the color gray. So for this, I'm going to take a color. I'm going to use my red, and I'm going to start with a heavy pressure blend. When I get towards the center, I'm going to ease off the pressure until I'm barely putting color on the paper. So it goes from light to medium to dark with the pressure that I am applying. Then I'm going to use a light pressure to go across this whole thing. So I'm not pressing any harder as I go across. Light pressure, light pressure, light pressure, all the way to the end. And that is a gradation from red to gray. And I would do that when I want to neutralize a color to take down some of the intensity without darkening it too much. And we're going to do the same thing over here, but now we're going to do the gradation plus white. And I think I'll use be a purple for this. So I'm going to make my gradation heavy pressure, medium pressure as I get towards the center, and then I'm barely coloring on the page, just a little bit of color there. And then I'm going to go over this with the white. Make sure your white is clean. And I like to swirl this in with the white so that I know that it's blending. And I'm doing kind of a light to a medium pressure all the way across. And now I have purple to medium purple to lighter purple to lightest purple. I can do a full range of value here. I'm going to take the blue. I haven't used that one yet. And I'm going to start with the color in the center. So instead of gradating from dark to light, I'm going to start with the color in the center. And I'm going to go medium to light. Sorry about that. It's picture retake day today, so there's a lot of announcements. So I went from a color to fading it out, color to fade it out. And then on this side, I'm going to do my white. So it goes from light blue to medium blue to blue. And then on this side, I'm going to do the black. Now I'm going to have to go over the black because the black is so dark, it really dominates the color. So this goes from light to medium to blue. And this is going to go from blue to dark blue to darkest blue to black. So that's our goal here, is to make a gradation from light blue all the way to darkest blue. All right, one more technique to do. We're going to take a couple colors. I'm going to do, let's see, a green with a light green and blue. Let's see what kind of color I can make here. So I'm putting down just a couple layers of oil pastel. These are going to be 2 paper towel blends. I'm going to just show you some examples of what that looks like. If I want to make a color that I don't have in my oil pastel kit, I can blend 3 colors. So I've got 3 colors here and 3 colors here. And then using my paper towel, I'm going to fold it in half. It's okay that it's dirty because I'm going to be rolling it really tight like a tube. And after I roll it, I'm going to fold it in half. And you see how I've gotten that firm end of the paper towel? That's going to be my blending stick. So I'm going to blend in swirling motions. And look, I've created a new violet color that I don't have in my kit. I can use the other side, the clean side now, to blend my greens and blues. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to swirl that in to create a new color that I don't have in my pastel kit. So these are just 8 different ways, well, really 9 with the stippling and scumbling, that we can use our oil pastel techniques in our next art project.